What's going on, coach? Listen, inside this video, I'm going to be talking about how these super weird and unprecedented economic times we are in are going to affect our coaching businesses, as well as how can we continue to grow and sustain sales, right, for a high ticket coaching program or consulting services, or to be honest, wherever the hell this economy is going. So it's no new news that we are in a recession or a funky financial time. One thing that we can agree on is that we are in a time of a lot of uncertainty. And it's very, very important to understand that, because during times of economic uncertainty or uncertainty in any way, people start to pull back into what I call survivor mode. Less about investing in themselves and more focus on their needs and actual security, such as having money set aside for emergencies if they lose their job, such as having their basic needs met and not overspending or getting in more credit card debt. As a high ticket coach, it's important to understand how a recession or any type of economic times is going to impact your coaching business, or realistically the ability to sell your high ticket offer. And so I also want to break down sort of how we can actually continue to sell and even sell more and thrive during times of economic uncertainty. And so let's jump right into it. One of the first things is going to be that you may need to refine your offer. Because here's the reality. A high ticket offer that sold really well in 2021 and early 2022 may not sell the same in 2023. And so when it comes to refining your offer, we're going to really want to shift away from offers that are fluffy, that are unclear, offers like I help you live a better life, or I help you heal trauma. Anything that's not really clear or specific is going to be one thing that's going to be very much impacted by the economy, because people don't buy into things that are very unclear in the outcome. But not only that, what we want to consider is that problem still something that they're well aware of and urgently looking to solve? Because a lot of times somebody finding their purpose may have sold very well. An offer like that may have sold very well during amazing economic times. However, maybe like a mom is not worried about finding her purpose when it gets down to what's going on. Her husband just lost her job. Like, she's worried about how can we get more income. And really, it's just important to be mindful of these things, as well as being able to refine and reposition your offer. Let's take a mindset offer, for example, helping people eliminate limiting belief patterns. An offer like that can be seen, if I'm just practically from a marketing and a clarity perspective, that can be seen as sort of fluffy. Like, what does that actually mean? Even though as coaches, we know how important that is, versus being able to help people lift their limiting belief patterns so they can make their next 10K as a coach, or being able to help people release their limiting belief patterns so they can make their first $100,000, or helping a salesperson part ways with their limiting belief patterns so that way they can increase their closing percentage. The only difference is through the way of who you're actually serving and what problem that you're solving. You need to be able to articulate your ability to solve a problem using your intellectual property as a vehicle. For example, I have a friend who's a life coach, and he's really, really good at coaching people to develop certainty with themselves. He has a really, really solid framework in it. He's really, really good at helping people heal from a lot of trauma and sort of release a lot of their limiting beliefs, right? So that way they can hit their first six figures. Why? Because he did it himself, as well as a lot of the clients that he works with. And so when it comes to this type of offer, as we go into times of economic uncertainty, we're having a conversation. He's like, a lot of people thinking about investing in a life coach during a recession. And I'm like, I don't really know. Like, that would be up to you to answer. However, if that answer is no, well, you have to figure out how can you reposition your life coaching? Because we all know that when we do things like get in shape, when we do things like heal our generational trauma, these things all result in positive outcomes, like making more money, getting that promotion, launching that actual business, having a better relationship. And so what we need to think about is how can we position our intellectual property and create a case that our intellectual property is a solution towards a problem that our audience is urgently looking to solve. And so let's talk about this. So are you saying, coach, are you telling me that I should help people make money by getting in shape? Of course, I know for me, when I'm in shape, I make more money. I feel more confident. However, when you're a coach, you have to be able to cultivate an argument and a case around that. So take a look at your past clients and really see how many of my clients have made more money as a result of working with me getting in shape. And then what we do is we need to do what we call upgrade our program promise, which is upgrade the results that we offer somebody to align with a problem that's more urgent to them, as well as update our curriculum to align with that. So let's just say that you are a fitness coach and you work with a lot of salesmen or performance-based jobs like realty. Instead of helping guys get a beach body, or instead of helping guys get lean and toned up, you might be able to help them make more money by getting in shape. And so now, instead of focusing on a problem that may be, and this is not for everybody, but it may just be a nice to have, you're focusing on a problem that your prospect is waking up every single day and thinking about. Now it's just your job to be able to prove that through your case studies, your content, and just the way that you position yourself in the market. Because there are ways to help people make more money by getting in shape. If you read the book Psycho-Cybernetics, this is a great example. In Psycho-Cybernetics, they talk about the best way to improve your habits, the best way to improve yourself is to go through a physical change. There's actual scientific data to back that argument. So let's just say if you're a trainer and I was helping you lose fat and build muscle, something that people are willing to pay for. However, maybe it's not losing 50 to 100 pounds where it's a necessity, or maybe it's just something that's a nice to have that gets put in the back of the line of all their bills during a recession. Instead, I help performance-based entrepreneurs make more money via my method, which involves confidence, getting back in shape, optimizing their energy, and optimizing their lifestyle. So there may be different parts of your curriculum that you need to add. However, these are the part of offer refinement and offer workshopping that are very important as you continue to grow, but more importantly, very important as we move towards times of economic uncertainty where you don't want your offer to be something that is a nice to have. And so really just think about it. And I'm not saying that people don't want to elevate their mindsets or get in shape. I know for a lot of women, like getting in shape is almost like at the equal need of for a lot of guys making money in some cases, because there are different premises and situations in a woman's life where getting in shape is really, really, really important. I need to be really, really healthy because I want to respark the relationship with my husband. So think about how can you refine and reposition your offer to really be irresistible and really be a problem that's still top of mind and that your prospects and your audience are urgently looking to solve regardless of what's going on economically. So now let's move into the second thing, and that's going to be making better content. Listen, coach, during these funky times, we want to make sure that our content not only is doing the job of building our community and our brand, but it's really doing the job to nurture, build trust, and build authority with our audience more effectively. And so you may have been able to really generate a lot of leads and nurture a lot of leads with like maybe surface level content before. However, when people are in these weird times of like feeling that scarcity around their money and around their wallet, you need to give people a reason to want to pay you. You need to give people a reason to want to work with you. And so what that's going to entail in your content is speaking to your audience with a higher level of depth. The deeper you can go in understanding their problems, presenting value to them, the more they're going to build trust with you and the more they're going to see you as the authority figure. We want to make sure that we're really cultivating that thought leadership and sharing our perspective with our audience, because once we begin to do that, we begin to differentiate ourselves from the different coaches in the market. Let's just say that you help people invest into Airbnb. And most Airbnb coaches talk about the same things, the same surface level pain points and same regurgitated pieces of information. You want to go deeper though, right? You want to really go deeper and understand your prospects' pains, their fears, their limiting beliefs. And you want to put out content that really provides that higher level of perspective, because that's when we start to build that client to coach relationship in our content. And that's what your content should be doing. And this is important, guys. There's a lot of information going out around doing content. And I think that we sometimes get mixed up with the model that is designed and optimized for a high ticket coaching business versus the model that's for maybe a content creator or, people who sell low ticket products or people who are just trying to build a big audience. You want to build that highly valuable authority and trust with your prospects. You want prospects showing up to your consultations with you or your closers literally have already spoken to their spouse, have watched some of your content, had those epiphanies, and they're vouching as to why they want to work with you. You want prospects showing up to your consultations with so much value from your content that they think your program is going to be 10K, and then when you tell them that it's 6K, they're like, oh my God, I can totally do this. Here's a paid in full. That's the type of relationship that you want your content to build with your audience. I suggest doing that through making sure that you're speaking to them on a high level, leveraging short form content, but also leveraging long form content, a YouTube channel, a podcast, going live. You need to show up to your audience in a longer form because that's where the real trust is built and that's where the buying decisions are made. All right, so let's go into the last and most important part, which is tightening up your sales process. Coach, the way that your audience is able to tap in with you and learn more about what you do, the process behind that is going to be very, very important. So I want you to think about is how can you tighten up your sales process from how easy it is for a prospective client to book into a call or come into your funnel for them to learn more about what you do, as well as what does it look like inside of that journey of how you and your team are actually building that relationship with your prospect as they make a buying decision. For example, making sure that your application and your booking form is actually a desirable experience. It's not a quadrillion questions. It's not telling your prospect, do you have $10,000 to buy this coaching program right now? Making sure that the process is simple and it's a better experience. Because again, the more resistance people have to spend, the more resistance they're going to have to put themselves in a position to spend. So we want to make that process seamless, right? And making sure that you're utilizing that CRM and that sales system. Are you doing follow-ups? Are you actually confirming people to make sure that they're going to show up for a call? Sometimes as coaches, especially when we sell a really, really good offer, we get kind of comfortable and we start saying, you know what? I'm not going to confirm these calls. Whoever shows up, shows up. Or we start saying, you know what? This person said, no, I'm not going to follow up with them. We need to make sure that we tighten all of that up and we have specific processes. Having a simple pre-booking follow-up to make sure somebody's going to show up to the call, super important. Having some sort of follow-up cadence or sequence if a prospect comes to the decision that they need to think about it or talk to the spouse, again, very important. Having a follow-up process for people who maybe inquired or booked to put in an application but never booked a call. These are all different facets that you need to tighten up to make sure that there's no holes in the bucket of your sales process. And lastly, I want you to think about client lifetime value. How long is the client actually staying to work with you? Do you have offers to upsell them and renew them? And this is important because a lot of coaches, we stay mostly focused on the front end of the business. Can I get more clients? What I want you to think about going into this time is how can you retain a client for a longer amount of time? Even if the front end KPIs or numbers, if you're at that point, are being affected adversely by the economic times that we're in, take a look at what is the average annual lifetime value of a customer. How much money are they spending with you within a year? Because what you may notice is that there's a ton of area of opportunity to make money on the back end of your coaching program. And this is another reason why I'm super big on not having a bunch of low ticket offers in front of your high ticket offer. Some people believe that, hey, you should have an offer for people that can't afford your stuff and XYZ. And I get that ideology. I don't necessarily align with it. If you can focus on having one really good high ticket offer and then what I call either a renewal or an ascension offer, that's where you'll make tons of money on the back end of your coaching program. Because now you may have somebody begin to work with you from anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000. But after that initial 10 weeks or 12 weeks or maybe 4 months, what does it look like to work with you for the rest of the year? Or what is that next level? Do you have a mastermind to sell on the back end of your program, or a retreat, or a continued engagement? I know a coach, he sells a 5K offer, and then to work with him for the rest of the year, it's 15K. It's 5K for 90 days and 50K. I think it's 4K for 90 days and then 15K for the rest of the year. I think 12K if you paid in full. And he has a tremendous lifetime value. And the reason why is because he works with guys that literally need to lose like 50 to 100 pounds. In the first 12 weeks, a guy probably going to lose anywhere from 30 to 40 pounds. But after that, if a guy's got 50 to 100 pounds to lose, even if he loses 30 to 40 pounds, most guys, if you can lose 30 to 40 pounds within 12 weeks, within 3 months, you're going to want to keep going. You're going to be feeling the difference in your sex life. You're going to be feeling the difference in your clothes fitting, and you're going to feel that momentum. And so for most guys, it's like, listen, if I've gotten these results in 3 months, what could I look like a year from now? They've already built that trust with you because they know your value. It's unquestionable. Now they want to work with you for the rest of the year, right? So what does it look like for them to work with you for additional 8 to 9 months after that, or a year after that? Or what is that next level? Is there a retreat to go to? There's a mastermind to join. That can be maybe even double the price point of your first initial offering. This is when we start to think about how we can really add bigger loads of revenue on the back end of full client acquisition system. However, it's hard to do that if you have 3 different ebooks and then a master class and then 3-day funnel and then all these different things that you're trying to optimize for like a super low amount of money, versus really just focusing on how can you really, really master your one offer and then create renewal and upsells and ascension on the back end of your offer. I've seen people literally turn a 2K offer into an annual lifetime value of about 8K per year. Why? Because their initial offer was 2K. However, after that initial result is actually achieved with their prospect, wants to solve the next problem with them, the next bigger problem. And so here's the thing. Once our prospects invest with us and we do our job and we fulfill and we deliver and we get them results, they want to keep investing. No doubt about it. Everybody loves growth. And more importantly, when we invest in ourselves, we literally get over that limiting belief of investing large amounts of money into ourselves. Think about these different things, coach, as you are navigating selling in this tricky or uncertain market. Double down on your offer. Make sure your content is providing tons of value and building a relationship faster and building a relationship that's a little bit deeper than everybody else in the market. And lastly, tighten up those sales process and those sales systems. Make sure that there's no holes in your bucket so that way you can fill it up and you can continue to sustain and grow in a recession or these times of economic uncertainty. So listen, Coach, I hope you found this video helpful. My name is Coach Tyson, the founder of Content to Sales, where we help coaches drive more sales to their high ticket offers through refining their messaging, their content, and their sales. So if that sounds like you, feel free to learn more about how we can help by clicking the link below. But again, if you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe, drop a comment on your thoughts, and we'll tap in soon.